Folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. It is I, Conrad Cushman, joining you tonight, also with my main man, Derek. We are getting ready to start the review, but I want to give a big shout out to Ant Won't Stop. He gave us a little bit of a theme song for us to use for this. So we're going to count down real quick, and then we will be getting started. And for the podcast listeners, please enjoy the song.
Let's get it, baby. Come on, let's get it.
Turn it up.
Number one contender, nobody can step to me. Got a stack of hate mail and it's addressed to me. All these haters, it sounded like MJF to me. I say one thing and everybody's correcting me. Kenny Omega the cleaner, nobody mean a man. Switch your demeanor, now everybody's an eager fan. A true leader, calculated, even planned, but not a dreamer, cause in Japan he was the man. One-time world champions coming back for it. I had to give him a couple balls on his track for it. Lost to Moxley once, now he's seeking vengeance. Won't stop until he's champion, relentless. Eddie Kingston can spit the game and back it up, but John Moxley is different, I don't think that's enough. Seems like all his side of the fence has been racking up. If Eddie loses, he'll take his bag and pack it up. I'm taking off with my team, we in the cockpit. We started up like Darby Allin in a mosh pit. So take a look at the gold, I feel like Moxley. I'm on top of the world, nothing can stop me. I'm taking off with my team, we in the cockpit. Started up like Darby Allin in a mosh pit. Take a look at the gold, I feel like Moxley. I'm on top of the world, nothing can stop me. FTR, the Young Bucks, two of the greatest tag teams among us. There's no debating, fans been waiting for this confrontation, pacing with anticipation at the thought of this occasion. I'm sure it's nothing short of amazing given the stipulation, and if the Young Bucks don't win, then they're out of the conversation. Totally possible, but I highly doubt that. They had a couple losses, but I think they'll bounce back. Darby Allin wants to take the belt from Cody Rhodes. I've been told, I just need my man to get some gold. He's the perfect opponent, Cody should take some notice. If he's focused, he could hit that golf and drop at any moment. So pay attention, don't ever lose sight. It's full gear, so get ready for a full night. No need to say it twice, we hitting new heights. Always trending on all these wrestling news sites. I'm taking off with my team, we in the cockpit. We started up like Darby Allin in a mosh pit. So take a look at the gold, I feel like Moxley. I'm on top of the world, nothing can stop me. I'm taking off with my team, we in the cockpit. Started up like Darby Allin in a mosh pit. Take a look at the gold, I feel like Moxley. I'm on top of the world, nothing can stop me.
Yes, everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you.
What do you guys think of the setup here? All right. Let me know what you guys think, man. Thank you for joining us for our AEW Full Gear 2020 review. It is 7 minutes until it's the next day, but it is still November 7th, 2020. We are here to talk about AEW Full Gear. I have a dope story to tell real quick about this, if you will indulge me for a second, Derek.
Go ahead.
We already gave our introductions, but last year I wanted to use this exact layout, and I was unable to because my computer was not updated enough. If you guys don't know, this is Rob's computer that I'm using, so this has been absolutely dope that this is actually working. It's like gears moving in the background, and you guys can see the sparks flying off if you're listening to this on the podcast. It looks really dope, and Derek gave me a lot of the cutouts for this. Rob also suggested how we lay out everything, so I have to give a big shout out to everybody that's part of the EPW team, EPW fam. Anybody who retweets, supports, likes, shares, buys a shirt, buys a sticker. It doesn't matter if it's $1, $2, even if it's just you sharing in the chat. Thank you guys so much. All right, but enough of that. We got to talk about this pay-per-view AEW Full Gear. Bro.
Yeah, this was
bro. Bro, chat, be with me on this one because I definitely cannot wait to hear your thoughts. Right now, I see BJ was in the house. He said that was fire. Matt Lopez said, pretty awesome, dudes. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Sean Harrington, what's going on, brother? He's got a mouthful to say. I can't wait to read his comments in this. Chris DeZuba throwing up the Derek order.
What's up, Chris?
What's going on? Connor in the house as well. Ace, what's good, man? Thank you guys so much. The layout is sweet. Thank you, Sean Harrington. Uh-oh, it's our boy. What's in the cup, D? I won't ask. It's our boy, though. Jesus. DeLeon. Man, we should just... right here on that. Rockstar, what's good, bro? Rockstar, we're going to give you the full rundown if you didn't watch. Hopefully, we can give you some insight on what we thought about this. Thank you guys. Anybody who comes into the chat, show us some love, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button for us. It is greatly appreciated. Let's first talk about the buy-in matchup here, right?
Yep, let's get it.
The NWA Women's Championship was on the line. We had Allin Kay, the former NWA Women's Champion, taking on the current NWA Women's Champion, AEW Serena Deeb.
This is my first time seeing Serena. And
Cause you've been off for a few weeks from Dynamite, so
yeah. So this is me catching up on her. First off, might I say, she is cut.
Yeah,
she is cut.
I told you, bro. It's that yoga. It's that yoga.
Man, I may invest. I may invest. I don't know if I'll invest in.
Oh, chill. Jay-Z got sued for that. Chill. DDP, we don't want any problems.
Hey, I'm just giving credit where credit is due.
Yeah, but she is cut, though. Like, physically fit, yoga instructor. I got to give it up to Serena Deeb. The first part about the match that I love with her matches are the fact that she is able to... like, really put wrestling into it in the beginning. She always starts off with a lot of, like, chain wrestling, going for pinfalls. I just like her style in the beginning, if it makes any sense.
No, that makes perfect sense. When you watch her, it is a style that you can resonate to. It's almost like old school style, even though she's not an old school wrestler.
Right? Sean Harrington said, that's how you deliver a pay-per-view worth the $50 in my opinion. Woo, that's a great compliment to start off. Serena versus Kay was strong. They should have put the buy-in match on the pay-per-view, Matt Lopez says. I feel like it was, though. The show to me starts at 7 o'clock. I mean, you get all the highlight packages and everything else, but the buy-in doesn't really feel like a show that it's like, oh, maybe you should get this. It's just like, we can't really say it's on the main card, but definitely check this out, too. Yeah. So, happy to see that. Yeah, look at this. It was incredible. Deep. Oh, yes. We're going to talk about that in 1 second, Matt. 1 sec. You almost had me spoil it real quick. So, in this match, we saw some good train wrestling in the beginning. Allin Kay was the powerful one here, which is kind of a different view than I usually see her in. But she used her power in this matchup here. We had a double clothesline, near falls for both women several times in the match. An AK-47 was hit by Allin Kay, her initials, and Andrew Karolinko. Baller. But Deeb ends up rolling out to the floor. She hits an arm tuck flapjack. So it was like the arms were tucked Styles Clash. You looked like that was so brutal to you when you saw it. Like,
yeah. I thought it was gonna end up being some kind of version of a pile driver, but then when she did the version of the flapjack, I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So she gets a near fall on it, but in the end, Kay was able to put her foot on the ropes. And during it, she just gets right up and jumps on her leg. I'm like, that's how you're supposed to react to this. Jumps right on top of the leg. And eventually we see her set up for the Tequila Sunrise. Shout out to Conan. Dude, dope move. We gave this a grade of a B. It was just that simple. Fun match. Great opener. And then Thunder Rosa comes out. And Thunder Rosa looks like she wants her NWA Women's Championship back.
Only lost it, what did they say, 11 days ago, I believe?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago.
Yeah, so, she came back and was like, listen, I want my belt. You're going to give it back to me.
Right. This was excellent in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Buy-in match, great. I was very happy with what they did here. Thunder Rosa comes out, sets up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then we're getting ready to get into the main card here. I'm sorry, and let me go back to what was said in the chat. Matt Lopez said Deep versus Rosa 2 will be lit. She always does classic and unique submissions, BJ said. Facts, BJ. Definitely agree with that. Happy to see Thunder Rosa appear, Sean Harrington says. Ace says Thunder Rosa wants her title back. I agree. Jesus said, I thought this was a good match. Glad Thunder is back. And he said he likes Thunder Rosa's theme. Respect, Jesus. Respect. Yeah. Now, after this, we see Don Callis on commentary. Impact Wrestling's EVP, Don Callis. What's going on here, player? I don't know if there's deals being made or if it's just because he's friends with Kenny, but very cool. And speaking of Kenny, our opening contest is the tournament finals for the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. That is a mouthful. We have Kenny Omega and Hangman Page getting ready to battle out the former tag team partners, or as Derek would say, the beginning of the end. This was an interesting matchup, D. So they start off Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, no handshake.
Nah, you know what?
Well, Hangman wanted to, and Kenny didn't.
No, vice versa.
Oh, excuse me. Kenny wanted to. Okay.
Hangman did. He. I don't even think he even looked at Kenny's hand. He looked him dead in his eyes.
Bro, absolutely crazy. So listen, first thing I have written down here after the handshake is they end up spilling out to the floor early on in this match. Even Tony Schiavone was surprised by it. So I'm glad Tony brought that up. Dude. How did Kenny Omega not slip when he jumped onto the guardrail to do that moonsault off of it? Bro, the guardrail is thin. I don't know if they had to put padding on there so he didn't fall. I don't know how he did it. Beast.
Yeah, that and especially for his size. I mean, not saying like he's huge, but his size and his balance, impeccable.
Bro, absolutely amazing what they did here. I couldn't be mad at it.
Not at all.
And then, so speaking of the guardrail spot being so amazing, Kenny Omega puts him up on his shoulders and he does his rolling flip over, and then he usually goes into the moonsault. He slips after when he tries to pop back up. I think it was because of his shoes, because there was no traction on a certain part of his shoes, I noticed.
Yeah.
And that might have been the reason why he slipped. But Kenny definitely sold his leg after, trying to play it off as part of it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was really cool as well in this.
Layers.
Or psychology. Whatever, though, Derek. Layers.
Layers.
We'll make you a shirt with like a biscuit with layers or something after.
Hey, I'm on it.
Chill with the merch, D. I can't afford to pay you. The Derek order shirt starts selling out. Chill. Omega dives on the outside, does the classic Kenny Omega dive, grabs the injured knee once again. So they trade one wing angel attempts. I like the fact that Hangman Page tried to use that move against Kenny.
Yeah.
And Kenny wasn't going for it. And this move is so well protected. It's up there with the bro kick, the Judas effect. There are certain moves that once they get hit, I'm like, yo, you're done. It's over. And that's one of them. Yeah. And I love when moves are protected like that.
Yeah. And the trend, the back and forth, with trying to hit that move from both of them, it was just like,
it adds the drama. It's the superhero movie part where a villain and a superhero are fighting on top of the tower, and it's like, oh, who's gonna fall over? Who's gonna fall over? That was exactly what that was meant to do.
Exactly.
So after all of that, they go back and forth trading the attempts. V-trigger by Kenny Omega to start. They traded several moves back and forth. There were several V-triggers then hit on Hangman Page, and it just looked brutal. Yeah. And he gets hit with the one wing angel, and like I said, 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega is your tournament winner. Page looked heartbroken after.
Yeah. He had so much energy, so much rage. You know, he looked like this was his moment to get back at Kenny Omega, but I also saw it as, listen, I was a little over my head in this whole situation. He's gonna be mine the next time around.
we'll see, man. Hangman Page has a story to tell, and I'm looking at the chat when you were talking about that, Derek, and I have to say, let's go with Sean Harrington to start, and BJ. BJ said, I cannot believe this match was the opener, and Matt said the same thing. I am shocked they opened with a big match like this, but Sean says that Kenny used to be, it was the right call, he said, and strong way to open up the show. Then we have... what was mentioned here? The rails. He said he used to do that in New Japan, and their rails are even thinner than the U.S. rails.
Wow.
So, beast. Yeah, I just didn't know Kenny could still hit it like that, though, bro. It's been years since he was in New Japan, it feels like, but beast. Especially, like, that was like a move he used to do when he was in the junior heavyweight division. How good was this match, though? People loved this match. This was really good. Jesus said he enjoyed this match as well.
This match was... This match was up there.
Speaking of it, the grade. We went with A- for this one, and we went back and forth on possibly going higher, but I think A- was the right call here. It was a really good opener to start it off. This may be AEW's best main card opener.
I would say...
It's up there.
Yeah. I'm willing to say that it is.
It could be. BJ's coming in here with a prediction. He says next year Hangman will be the first to kick out of the One Wing Angel and win the belt.
See, BJ? That's what we call layers.
Dude, I feel like we're on Sesame Street and it's the word of the day. I would do the song, but the intern will probably be very happy if he hears it, and I don't want to get sued, so none of that. We'll move on to the next match. The next match was John Silver versus Orange Cassidy. This match started off with some comedy. You know why? Because Johnny hungry. John Silver, freaking hilarious. I actually listened to a lot of Tony Khan's call-in interviews that he had going on for the past week. That's one of my favorite things about AEW, just being able to go in there, set up the calls, and do everything. And Tony Khan gave some insight on what was going on with this matchup here. So John Silver, he said, he called him into his office, and supposedly he played a rib on him, I guess, and he was like, I'm very disappointed with you, John. He was like, you see this guy on BTE? Where is that guy on Dynamite? And he basically gave him the opportunity because of what he's done on BTE and how great he's been in those segments, and he wants him to showcase that on Dynamite.
Exactly. That energy should have been... I agree with Tony Khan. That energy should have been right from the get-go. He is great on BTE. If he has that same energy there, bring it here. You know what I mean? Like, that's you, John. That's you.
But I like him with Reynolds, too. It's kind of crazy what's happened with them. But I think they have taken the ball and maximized their minutes as a duo, being in the Dark Order. Because they came in at first and we were like, oh, these are the dudes who always lose. Right. Now look at them.
Exactly. And then they actually have been making noise. I mean, obviously, he's up there above what they're doing now at a certain point, but... You know, it is what it is.
I think he could be a breakout star once it comes down to it. Even if it's with Reynolds, without Reynolds, Silver has star-making powers right now, and the dust is being sprinkled on anybody who he works with, so I like it. But you also have Orange Cassidy, who I think is the genesis, the beginning of what a comedy wrestler should be in AEW and how you can be taken to that next level by being serious with it. Right. So eventually in this match, we start off with the comedy, the usual kicks with Orange Cassidy, and Silver knocks him down. And I love the fact that Silver's like jacked for his size, and Silver rips out Orange Cassidy's pockets. Cornette is going to love this. Freaking pockets getting ripped out of pockets. Cornette hates Orange Cassidy, by the way, if you guys never listened to his shit.
Pockets got his pockets ripped out.
I would have did some more, but I can't. So John Silver also impressed me in this matchup. He hits a one-handed press slam on Orange Cassidy. Silver is smaller in height compared to Orange Cassidy, so this looks so weird. And me and Derek were talking about this on a SmackDown, I believe, many, many moons ago. The one Billy Gunn, I believe, did this to Eddie Guerrero in a match on SmackDown. And I just thought that was so dope because I always remember who hit a one-handed press slam on somebody. Beast.
Yeah. For his height, not saying like he's not strong at all, because obviously he is strong at all. I'm strong at all. Excuse me. He is strong. But, like just seeing someone at his stature doing that, it's like, oof, that is impressive.
Respect, Matt. I saw what you wrote in the chat. But, yeah, dude, very good for him. One-handed press slam. He goes for a spin doctor. Here's where Orange Cassidy, though, started taking the match back. He hits a spin doctor, which is like a real big spin move. You gotta kind of see it to see what happened. Orange Cassidy spun into a head scissors, and then he ended up getting the move, like the head scissors, and Orange Cassidy gets caught. He ends up getting hit with the spin doctor, but then he's able to get out. Orange Punch gets hit in the beach break. 1, 2, 3. It was a comedy match, kind of, at the end of the day. But for what the match was, I will say B+. And here's why. I know you guys may say the work rate wasn't all that great, but this was meant to be a comedy match. And I think Silver shined in it enough that Silver's noticeable. But I also think Orange Cassidy getting the win and looking really good in this kept him at the stature he was at after working with Jericho.
Yes. I think it deserves the grade that we gave it. I think it should get that grade from everybody else, because it's a comedy match between two comedy wrestlers, but at the same time, these two comedy wrestlers did things that we haven't seen from anybody else.
It was a nice change up on it, because I thought this would have possibly been the opener, but I'm glad now that this was the second match. So a lot of times when you book a wrestling show, you could look at the card and then it's like, oh crap, man, that tournament match just crushed us. The second match is going to be garbage.
Right.
You could have easily went out there and did that. I felt these two didn't do that. They went out and they still delivered what I thought was a good match. Jesus comes in and says Silver versus OC was a sleeper match.
I agree.
I can respect that, Jesus. Like, full gear. Fully respect that. Really good stuff here. Let's move on here to the next matchup. The TNT Championship match. Darby Allin versus Cody. So in this matchup, Darby comes out. Darby Allin had a special entrance. He comes out kind of with, he actually came out in a car. It looked like the car that he beat up in the TNT like promo video package that he shot. And he comes out and the car's got like half the windshield like painted like his face. Mm-hmm. Very cool. And Darby uses his skateboard, and the skateboard actually lands perfectly right into the windshield. And you guys can see it, and it kind of says the face of TNT on the skateboard. I loved it. I thought it was very well done for his entrance.
Darby has the ability, and people probably sleep on this, but Darby has the ability to cut a promo when a promo is not being cut, if that makes sense. With him coming out on the car and slamming the skateboard into the windshield, it just, Darby has layers on top of layers.
Darby is somebody who I think a lot of people, I've heard comparisons to Jeff Hardy, to Sting, to a lot of people. Darby Allin has it. There's something about him that gives him this character, the status that you just love. There's something that you want to gravitate towards him. It may not even be your thing. It may not be your lifestyle, but there's something cool about Darby.
It's the mystique of Darby. Darby has that, all right, this dude's crazy, but there's something behind that. And he puts his all into this, or any other kind of match. It's 100% from start to finish. It doesn't matter who it is. It's going to be 100 from the get-go.
I think that's just who he is as a person. And then we go to Cody's entrance. Cody comes out with the entire Nightmare family. God damn, there's a lot of people in this group now. Yeah. You have the Gun Club, you got QT, you got Dustin, you got Brandy, you got the coach, Arn Anderson. Cody has this paparazzi and entourage, which makes him feel like a big deal. When I looked at this matchup, so they showed Darby and his back was turned to everything Cody was doing because he didn't want to look at it, maybe get caught in the moment, whatever it was supposed to be from the psychology standpoint. But I will say this. I felt like when I saw it, Cody was the prom king and Darby was the outcast. That was the feeling I got from this, to put it in perspective.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You know, I'm the star player. You know, I'm everybody's number one go-to. I'm that guy. And Darby Allin is the one that's sitting in the corner that nobody ever pays attention to because he's just there.
Little chalky Studebaker there. I like that. From Doug, if nobody knows what I'm talking about. The star player. But yes, dude, Cody, the main focus early on in this matchup was the hammerlock. Cody puts him in the hammerlock, and Cody has put on 15 pounds of muscle. The dude is tossing Darby around like a sack of potatoes. He goes for that hammerlock, and Darby's trying to roll over, but Cody ends up holding him up and throws him onto the ramp. That's at Daly's place. Hard landing too. Jesus.
I mean, when we say he threw him, for those who didn't watch it, that was like, woo.
Oh, Robert said, speaking of Outcast, it was like Speaker Box versus The Love Below. Robert, you're supposed to be here so you can say that stuff.
Listen, you know, that also reminds me, I won't touch on that.
Yeah. Yeah, please censor yourself because I damn sure don't need to be apologizing to the YouTube people.
Nah.
So a lot of people are saying this is a fire match. This was a great one. Jocelyn said his enigma makes you want to watch him. The pre-show explained why he is the way he is. 100%.
You know what? Now that I think about it, go ahead.
No, Tyree Cobb, I see you in the chat, brother. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get to the Sammy match in a couple matches here. We're going to try and breeze through, not breeze through, but we're going to try and touch on all the points we want to make on this, then we'll get to that match. Stick around for that, though, brother. Jocelyn said, honestly, thought it was going to be a sleeper match, but I was wrong. Explain more, Jocelyn. I'd like to hear what you mean by that. And BJ said it was a great match, but there was one move that threw me off and made me disjointed during it. What move was that, BJ? What move was that? I'll wait for you guys to chime in. Let's go through this real quick, Derek. After Cody threw him out, Cody puts it down, the beat down. He goes for a moonsault, misses the moonsault. Darby hits the code red for a near fall. Cody kicks out. Exposes the turnbuckle. Cody gets thrown into it. A roll-up occurs. That absolutely sucked for Cody once he got thrown into it. Hey, big shout out to my guy here. Hold on. Tyree Cobb, thank you so much for subscribing. And I am mad at myself because I have the alert box semi-hidden here. So don't worry. We will make sure that pops up here for us in a second, I hope. There we go. Make sure you get your face shown here. Bow. Right over us. Boom. Thank you for subscribing, good sir. I appreciate the love. Give you a little orange Cassidy there. So he went into the corner. Cody's hurting from this. Cody ends up hitting a crossroads off the top rope. Cody Rhodes, and yes, I know I meant to say that. We'll get into that too, that he got his name back. Cody Rhodes hit that crossroads off the top rope. This is shit that the video games are made of. And check us out on Tuesday, by the way. So that's another good reason to subscribe to the channel. But Cody Rhodes hit that crossroads off the top rope. Absa-effing-loozy. It was amazing, bro. I don't know how he hit it. That was dope.
Yeah, Cody's a big guy to be doing that. So that was very impressive to me. Nothing short. Cody since day one. Cody has been that kind of a wrestler that I can get into. Like he he impresses me every time that he wrestles. So
Right, and BJ said the part that he didn't like was the top rope crossroads. But Darby ends up, so he hits the top rope crossroads, but Darby rolled so far that his arm was underneath the rope, actually from the beginning of the pinfall, and the ref just happened to see it. He was like, 1, 2, he's like, oh, hold up, his arm's under the rope.
Right.
So I could kind of get into that. I kind of believed it, but that definitely needs to be like one of Cody's top rope finishers in the next video game, because that looked dope. So during this, Darby has half a sleeper on because his arm is hurt from the hammer locks that Cody was throwing on him before. He's got half a sleeper. Cody climbs to the top rope with Darby. Coffin drop. F that. If somebody's on my back, that's the easiest way to get off of him. Yo, I'm falling back, bro. Boom.
Exactly.
He falls back afterwards with the coffin drop. Darby blocks the disaster kick. He goes for the last supper, but only for a 2 count. He didn't really get it in fully the way he wanted to, and I think that was by design. He hits the coffin drop, but Cody is able to kick out at 2, and they go into this roll up, like trading back and forth. We've seen it all in wrestling. Roll up 1, 2, roll up 1, 2, roll up 1, 2. Yeah. But this time, one of the roll ups turned into a 1, 2, 3, and Darby Allin is your new TNT champion. Bro, this match I got wrong. I predicted on the round table that Cody Rhodes was going to win. I thought there was going to be some shenanigans from Team Taz. Nothing. Darby just won.
Yeah.
Darby just won, bro.
That's it. I had the feeling that Darby was going to win this match. It was time. Even though Cody was dethroned by Brody Lee, that was like the intermission. And it resumed back when Cody left for a little bit of time, got the belt back. This was the actual dethroning of Cody Rhodes on the TNT title.
Bro, grade A-.
Yes.
A- for this one. This was an excellent match for where it was on the card. Jesus brings up a good point that I will agree with, but I am also Cody Rhodes. I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, so maybe it's biased. He says, Jesus gives us this, and I quote, Happy Darby wins. Don't want to hear people bitch about Cody not putting people over.
Exactly.
So much respect to Jesus for that, because Cody does put people over. It's just you got to wait for it.
Yeah. Everything, there's a time and a place, and the time and the place was tonight for Cody to put over Darby. So, for those who don't think Cody puts people over, this was proof that Cody puts people over. So, I'm going to keep it clean. Shut up.
To those who say that stuff.
Yes.
So, Cody ends up grabbing the title. He pulls like a Bret Hart kind of moment here, and he gets down on one knee and hands it over to Darby. And Darby gets the belt. Darby is kind of like crying, got his face up against it. I loved it. Works so well in this matchup, what they wanted to do here. And afterwards, here comes Taz. Taz comes out. He is talking shit. Only like Taz can.
It's Taz.
Botchamania. I love it. He comes out, and he's just talking to Cody, and he starts getting real pushy. And eventually Cody's like, hey, you better chill out. And then Cage and Starks hop into the ring to attack both of them. This is what I predicted after the match. I just thought it would be shenanigans and Cody would win because of this partially. Cody ends up trying to help Darby fight off Starks and Cage. But they both end up beating them down. They pick up the belt, but they both look at each other. And there's a tug of war kind of for this championship. And they are not happy about it. Not happy at all.
Not at all.
So Taz comes in, he grabs the belt. He's like, listen, guys, don't worry about this right now. We got more work to do. They begin to whoop their ass and bring them into the crowd. Darby is picked up, thrown over the shoulder like a damsel in distress, and brought into the crowd. And Darby gets thrown through the Full Gear, I guess the like lighting prop that there is with the logo on it for Full Gear. And he just gets plowed right into it by Cage. It wasn't the greatest. It was semi-weak. BJ brought it up before. He said also they got to use some plywood instead of cardboard for stage props. That throw through the stage was weak. Yeah. I'm with BJ on that. I can understand. Same with the arcade spot with Trent a couple weeks back on Dynamite. Where does Cody go from here? I think Cody becomes friends with Darby, but this is one of those keep your friends close but keep your enemies closer, Matt. So I think Cody is there, but he's like, I'm going to help you, but I want my rematch later. Just like, this is the same thing I predicted, but I predicted it vice versa. With Cody still being the champion, Darby would help him. So now I think Cody's going to help him because that's the only belt Cody can win right now.
Right, yeah. You had it right, but I'd say the checker pieces, this was a King Me checker piece that went backwards.
Checkers. Son of a bitch. But yeah, they definitely did good here. So after that beatdown, it's still not done. They then bring over Darby to his car that he brought out, and they're trying to put his arm into the door so they can break it. And Botchamania, Taz is definitely caught on camera saying, "Make sure the TNT title's showing. Make sure the TNT title's showing." And I was like, "What?" And as they're trying to slam Darby's arm into the door, here comes Will Hobbs. And I like that Will Hobbs got this spot, that he chased them off. So maybe one person's joining Team Taz and it's someone else? Maybe. I like it though. Grade A- for this one was definitely deserved.
Oh yeah.
No Lara, what's good? Thank you so much for joining us, No Lara. It's rematch time. Oh yes, it is. And we'll get into that later. Heel turn coming, Matt Lopez says with this.
Layers.
We get into a backstage piece here with Dasha interviewing QT and Dustin. They challenge the Butcher and the Blade to a bunkhouse match, if you will, player. You know what's going to happen. We're going to have ourselves a bunkhouse brawl. We're going to put on cowboy boots. We're going to be bleeding. It's going to be like a street fight. It's going to be going down. And we find out that match is made for Wednesday's Dynamite. So I'm happy to see the Butcher and Blade get that matchup. We also have, is it Tay Conti? Ty Conti?
I think it's Ty Conti.
We'll say Ty Conti because that's how Tony Schiavone said it. I usually say Tay. But Ty Conti with Anna Jay taking on Red Velvet, and I believe Brandy was in the corner. I couldn't remember who the second person was for it. So those are the matchups for Dynamite if you guys care to know. Let's get into this AEW Women's Title match. Going into this, I have to be honest. I definitely did not care about this. Even during this matchup, this is when I started up the laptop so that I can have everything powered up. I also cleaned my teeth after we had ourselves some delicious buffalo wings during this spot. I couldn't care, bro. I cared more about the NWA Women's Title match than this match. AEW has to figure out how to make me care. That should be a goal in 2021. We have to fix this women's division. Yeah. But they're also hurting because they have so much international talent and they can't get over here.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
Shit, man. So Nyla Rose with Vickie Guerrero versus Hikaru Shida. Shida spends a lot of this match in control. We see a chair set up on the outside, and Shida ends up getting her running knee spot from it. Nyla Rose bends the guardrail going into it, and Vickie ends up using a kendo stick shot to Shida's knee, which is going to play a big part in this. While Aubrey was with Nyla, she missed the whole thing. Vickie uses the kendo stick, and Shida's knee is the focus now. We see a beast bomb on Shida. Nyla pulls her up at a 2 count. Why would you do that? So annoying. Nyla hits the running knee. Shida kicks out at 1 because Shida's a beast. Mm-hmm. Derek, do you feel bad for Shida?
I do.
Do you think her title reign's been ruined?
It has.
Is it because more so of COVID, or do you think it's more so because of the
division?
The division. You just said it straight up. Okay, I got it.
The division is weak. It really is. I love Shida. This is my first time being introduced to Shida this whole year.
Time out. I have to stop you for this. Rob, I did call them buffalo wings for context. I know in Buffalo we just say wings. But for the context of the larger audience that we have, I felt buffalo wings was more appropriate to say. So
on a grander scale.
Take that. Yeah, take that. So, yeah. Did you have anything else to add to the Shida bit? I'm sorry.
No, you good. Shida has impressed me this whole time watching her through this journey with AEW. She is suffering because there is not enough there.
I think there's just not people on her level either. Like, Shida is doing a lot of the work in these matches. And Nyla, that is not against Nyla Rose at all.
No.
At all.
Nothing at all. It's right now, your top 2 female wrestlers are Nyla and Shida.
Yeah. It's just what it's going to be, man. The division needs to be fixed, period. We see a top rope Falcon Arrow. These Falcon Arrows were a little sloppy, but Nyla is much bigger than Shida, so it's impressive that she's even doing this.
Yeah.
Shida then pulls Nyla up. This was driving me crazy, kind of partially in the match here. Nyla gets shoved into Vickie, Falcon Arrow, kick out. We see a knee, another kick out. And then Shida just hits knees over and over and over to Nyla's face because they're basically like slaying the dragon is what the storyline I felt like was with this.
But see, that to me, that's kind of backwards, though, because you slay the dragon, but wouldn't Shida really be the dragon, though, because she's the one who has the title?
You could, but I think Nyla's presence, it's kind of like she had to chop Nyla down so that Nyla could get on her level, is the way I kind of see it. Maybe I'm trying to make sense of this. I got nothing. That's all right, Jocelyn. Thank you. I appreciate you hopping into this one when you do. So, dude. Eventually, after all the knees, 1, 2, 3, Shida wins. B- we gave this match. B- is solid. The grading scale's down below, too. If you guys are like wondering, like, what the hell does this grade mean? Look down below. I borrowed the grading scale from Deluxe Man. Tweaked it a little bit to fit more so what I think it should be. And afterwards, so we gave this a B-. Vickie and Nyla get into it. There's a lot of screaming. It's Nyla's first loss. Like, cool your jets, Vickie. But I guess she was like, I got you all the way to this point and you lost. And Botchamania moment once again. I found a lot of them on this show that it should be on there. Nyla definitely says slap, and then Vickie Guerrero slaps her. I heard it on the camera, so just a little thing, if you guys didn't notice, go back and watch it. I know I'm ruining wrestling probably for some people, but whatever. I thought it was funny. So Vickie hits the slap, walks away from Nyla. I think this is going to lead to bigger problems, but I don't think Vickie and Nyla is the right combination. I thought Nyla was talking fine on her own before this. Vickie needs to go with someone else. The question is who, and I don't know when you do that.
I say she should. She has to change her.
Does she fit with a Britt Baker?
No. Because Britt Baker is on her own level.
I think she maybe
indulge me on this one.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So Britt Baker, she's got her mojo going right now. Okay, Shida has her mojo going. Now, if you would have brought Vickie in when Shida first started, that may have played a great role because Shida's English isn't up to par like that. So Vickie could have been the mouthpiece for Shida. Could have been.
Okay.
But
I'm following you on this.
I feel now Vickie has to change her style just a little bit, but I feel she could also be the mouthpiece for Chris Statlander.
Are you talking like a gimmick change, maybe?
Yes.
Okay. That could be a possibility. I think we could see Vickie manage somebody new on the rise who needs a manager. We need to get her with someone who really could use her talking abilities. Now, like I said, I would book Vickie as like the top agent. Vickie needs to be completely different than she was in the WWE. Forget that excuse me bullshit. I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Vickie needs to be, I would have her come out in a suit and she is the top agent. She will be your Paul Heyman-esque female character. She is the top agent and people want to sign with Vickie because Vickie can get things that they want, because Vickie, during her time away, you guys could have brought it up that she went and got her license to be an agent. She has been working on it and she has been getting top-notch deals for other companies, other people, and she's proven herself, and this is who you align someone with her, and that person, she'll just say, listen, I'm building a stable of people and you're one of them, and let Vickie help elevate somebody. Let's get into what some people were saying here. BJ said, I thought that the match was good. It was a good fight. Nyla and Shida both have a good brawl type of match. They usually do, though. And BJ said he also enjoyed some bomb-ass wings as well. And I just added the ass part in there, but yeah, definitely. Rob said most of Shida's matches are on dark and she spends most of her TV time in the crowd. The focus on the division is abysmal, to say the least. Facts.
Yes.
They need to book their women's division better. Matt says that. I think me and Derek will both agree.
Yes.
Jesus said, don't break them up. Just let her be more aggressive. Women's division just needs to be booked better and needs to be booked more on TV and better storylines, please and thank you. Vickie with Ricky Starks would be money. I like it. See, I don't want Vickie to... I think she needs a stable of people. That's the way I'll put it with Vickie right now.
Let her be a jack of all trades.
She could be. Let's get into match number 6 on this card. For the AEW Tag Team titles, it is the Young Bucks, the Super Kick Party versus FTR with Tully Blanchard in their corner. My first focus on anything that had to deal with this was particularly on the fact that these guys came out, number one, the Young Bucks, purple, black, gold. Shout out to the Lakers. They are from California. And FTR just so happened to be wearing the Boston Celtics colors of the green and the white and the nice jumpsuits they came out in straight out of the 80s, these boys. So I thought it was very well done. The two greatest basketball teams, greatest tag teams. I like the storyline, what they did here.
Yeah.
And on the back, FTR had, I'm trying to make sure I say this right, it was GTTOAT. So it was the greatest tag team of all time. Well done. On the tights, too. I thought it was dope. Were you going to add something in?
These two groups have, they have proven to have, or they have proven their stance in tag team wrestling. That's all I can really say. You know what I mean? Like FTR, they bring you the old school. Young Bucks, they bring the high flying. But they have brought that caliber as to why they are some of the greatest tag teams to date.
I think it shows, too, the differences in styles can be the reason why you're both the best.
Yes.
I really... Rob said boo, and I said why. He said, you know why. Cut it out. So, in this match, Dax... early on, opened up his hand on the ring post somehow. He got a mean cut on the side of his hands. It looked pretty disgusting when they first showed it. His hand was bleeding, but I do have to give AEW credit here. As soon as his hand got cut open, he tagged out eventually, and the doctors basically put tape on it. I don't know if they super glued his hand shut or what they did. It stopped the bleeding for the most part in the matchup, but respect that they were right on top of it. And I also have to explain in this match that Matt Jackson was said to have gotten a what's the shots that you get in your leg if they hurt? Hydro.
It is a
hydrocortisone. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
If I said it wrong, I apologize. But he got one of those hydrocortisone shots that will basically help his leg in the matchup. Because early on, he was like booting him off of him, but he still was feeling the effects on the leg like pretty badly. And this is going to play a major part into the storyline of this match. These two teams are tag team wrestling. Matt Lopez knows. Matt Lopez is a big Ring of Honor fan. I trust his word when it comes to tag team wrestling. So during all of this, after Dax's hand was opened up, that was their focus, and Matt Jackson was the focus of the FTR. Excuse me. They made sure that they were on top of that leg throughout the whole match. His leg was focused on. Nick was getting cut off any chance he wanted to tag, whether it was Cash going over there and grabbing him, pulling him off the apron. They were not letting Matt make that tag. Eventually, the Bucks make the hot tag. Nick Jackson comes in. This dude, when he gets the hot tag, this motherfucker goes off.
Yes, he does.
I don't know how else to say it. Nick, I apologize if you ever hear this cursing. Censor it, please. But... what the hell? This dude just goes off. He is just all over the place, jumping, kicking, hopping out the ring. I love their hot tags for him. He always just gets that energy and makes people go crazy.
Yeah, like he bounces like everywhere. It's like the Energizer Bunny. You just stuck 2 batteries in his back and he's just like boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, and he's hitting everything like flawlessly.
And it like within a short amount of time.
Bro, so after he gets the hot tag, they go out on the floor. He even hits his bulldog clothesline spot, and everybody's just hyped up off the energy. They tag Matt back in. Why would you tag the brother who's hurt back in? It just made me like, so I was like, don't do this.
Right.
It gave me flashbacks of Enzo and Big Cass in NXT when they would tag Enzo, and I'm like, no, he's hurt. Why would you? And then they always lost. So I was like, yo, are the Bucks gonna lose here? We then see a flurry of tag team moves pulled off that are awesome. We saw like a powerplex. We saw, hold on, I gotta go in order here. The Steiner Bulldog at one point hit by FTR. The Jacksons, the Young Bucks hit a 3D on somebody. The Hardy Boys move were hit by the Jacksons as well. Bro, the only thing I was sad we didn't get to see in this match was nobody Road Warriors, bro. Come on. I know it's a dangerous spot, but
at least somewhat of an attempt.
Yeah, dude, it would have been great to see it. That's what I thought they were setting up at first when they did the Steiner Bulldog, but once he turned around, I was like, oh, it's this a great Steiner Bulldog. Love it. They even end up going for a move. Dax hurts his hand on a punch, and then we see the DIY. Gargano and Ciampa's move was even used. They went for the DIY finish, but it ends up getting broken up. We see dual sharpshooters. First, Dax is in the sharpshooter by Matt. Matt's on his bad leg. He's trying to hold it in there. Dax gets his hand on the rope. The one that's taped up, that I said was effed up. Nick Jackson super kicks that shit off. And then he puts Cash in the sharpshooter on the ramp, and they're looking at each other, trying to grab each other's hands. Tag team wrestling at its finest here. I loved it.
Yes.
What they did here was beautiful. Bucks hit a BTE trigger. We see the 2 count because Cash ends up making the save. Meltzer driver is blocked, and then it goes into a mind eraser spike pile driver, but Matt gets his boot on the ropes as they hook the leg. He had just got it on the rope. So eventually they get pissed off. They start stomping Matt's boot, and then they take it off. So Matt is barefoot. Speaking of all of this wonderful talk about being barefoot, you know what time it is, don't you guys?
It's that time.
If you have your foot bare, you guys can go to manscaped.com, use the promo code EPW show. Now, if you guys put in that promo code, you can save 20% off and get free delivery. So if you have your foot out like Matt Jackson did in this match and FTR is stomping it, get yourselves the foot deodorant and make sure you guys get that Lawnmower 3.0 so that way when the grass gets too tall, you guys can trim the hedges. Check it out. Promo code EPW show, manscaped.com. 'Tis the season to get someone a gift. This is a great stocking stuffer, so make sure you guys check that out. Also, if you guys go to our good friends at powerslam.tv, it is the same promo code EPW show. You guys can get shown some love with that. And I have to give a big shout out to our fellow podcasters, Everything College Basketball. You guys can hear their ad at the end. And also a big shout out to Jesse from the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for always having your ads on the podcast. We most definitely appreciate them. And like I said, we have to definitely get back to Matt Jackson and him like getting his boot ripped off, bro. Just super, super awkward. He gets his boot ripped off here, and they hit the inverted figure 4 on him. He tried not to give up. Nick Jackson ends up trying to get in. Cash has went in and dove on him so many times to cut him off, and on the 3rd attempt, I believe this was, he goes to dive on him. Nick Jackson steps out of the way. Cash eats shit on the floor. Whatever. Dude, he bit the mat. Just... he goes down like a ton of bricks. Nick ends up hitting the 450 to stop the inverted figure 4. Matt goes for a pin. Kick out by Dax. Cash comes in the ring. He's pissed now. He hits a super kick. It felt weird to see someone from FTR hit a super kick. He then goes for a springboard 450 after getting tagged in. He misses the springboard 450. And Matt Jackson, super kick with the bad foot, goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. The Young Bucks are finally the AEW Tag Team Champions here. Grade on this match, I'm going to say A. I teetered almost on A+. This was an excellent match. My question to you in the chat, Derek. Is this match better than the Revolution match with Kenny, Hangman, and the Bucks? I have my answer, but I want to hear from you guys first. Derek, it's on you as far as how would you rate this?
I've got to say that this is probably 2 steps ahead.
So you like this match better than the Revolution match?
Yes, because this is two actual tag teams. Different styles, but know what tag team wrestling is. Not to say that Kenny and Hangman don't know it, but that wasn't a true tag team. You have 2 true tag teams who put on a excellent show.
Matt Lopez, please tell me what that tweet said in the chat, brother. If you could, let me know.
If you will.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like the Revolution match is going to go down as more legendary. I don't know why. Maybe it was match pacing and everything else. They're up there, though. Like, I think Young Bucks are going to have 2 matches that are match of the year caliber.
Oh, yeah. Well, for me, if Revolution is higher, it's because of the fact of what Hangman did towards the end, at the end of the match.
BJ brings up a great point. The one time FTR goes for a flip, because they used to say no flips, just fist, they miss, and it cost them the match. Karma. Respect. Yo, Tully didn't even get involved in this match. I was hoping Tully ate super kicks, dual super kicks, but we didn't get that. But we can't have Tully out here just bumping. Rob says, I say yes on it being the first time they ever worked opposite of each other. Bro, I don't know. Like, I went back and forth on this. When I first saw it, I was like, yo, this match was better. Then, after I was thinking about it more, I'm like, but that Hangman Kenny match is classic. This is one of those I think I have to go and review now. Like, I was going to say the Revolution match just now, but I'm like, dude, I have to watch both of these and really decide which one was better, man. Oh, yeah, I forgot. BJ was right. He was barred from ringside. That's why we didn't see any Tully. Still, should have got super kicked, but that's fine. I could take that. FTR versus the Young Bucks 2, book it. Ace, it's gotta happen. That's why when I heard the interviews FTR was upset, I was like, bro, why are you upset? You're gonna face this team again eventually.
Right.
It's just make sure it's magic every time. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hate we didn't get a AA move in from FTR. Yeah, Matt Jackson actually ended up hitting the Arn Anderson DDT.
Yeah. In
this one. The fake punch and then DDT. Dax tweeted, thanks to everyone that has been on top everyone that's been on a ride with us. Top guys out? What? Maybe we're reading too much into it. Match of the night for me, Jesus. I may have to agree.
Yeah.
I think you can argue different ones, but this is my match of the night. We're giving this. You know what? I'm changing the grade. I'm changing the goddamn grade. You know why? My show. We're doing it. A+. A+ for that match, bro. Excellent booking. FTR, you did your damn thing. I hope they're not leaving AEW. Just by the sounds of that tweet.
They better not.
Screw that. Screw that shit. Like, stay here. You belong here.
Yeah.
It works. Kenny comes out afterwards to celebrate, which was very elitish. Whatever. Cool. And you can see Hangman in the back. Watching from afar, kind of. This is probably going to be on BTE. He's sitting back there, and you could just see him looking at his friend celebrating, but he's not in there with them because he's sad.
You know what that means.
Say it. Just say it.
Layers.
Yes, the beginning of the end, possibly. Jesse in the house. What's going on, Pro Wrestling Shoot? Thank you for joining us. This match is my match of the night, Matt Lopez says. I like it. I cannot blame you. I'm going to agree. This is my match of the night for this. You too? Okay. Tag team match from Derek. Big shock, player.
Well, listen, because it ain't a 6-man tag.
Oh, here we go. This isn't the end between the Bucks and FTR. I agree with Jocelyn. And I'm calling it now. I would not be surprised if FTR get those titles back sooner than later.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Sean Harrington said A-. Stipulation ruined the match. It wasn't needed and just gave the result away. Not once did I buy into the FTR near falls. I can agree with that, but I still think the match is tremendous. I take the stipulation out eventually, and I'm looking at the match for what it's worth. But I definitely agree with you, Sean. I explained that on the pre-show, the preview show. Definitely not a fan of that.
Yeah, I think if they would have left Tully out there.
Not even Tully, though. They said that the stipulation of the Young Bucks were supposedly never going to challenge for the titles again. One. Because he said he didn't believe any of the pinfall counts. And Pro Wrestling Shoe said it was my granddaughter's first birthday, so I'm pulling double duty? Hey, listen. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday from everything pro wrestling. Tell Jesse to buy you a shirt. Not the Derek. I cannot afford the Derek Order ones. We need money for the podcast, not to fund your cults. All right. Let's see here. FTR always say top guys out. I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe they're gonna go and work NWA. Who knows? Like I said, FTR probably got pulled to do what they need to do. I'm thinking FTR takes them out like Wednesday. Could happen. Also hated the referee not breaking up the terrible sharpshooters. It just made FTR look stupid. Hey, thank you guys. Not a problem, brother. Not a problem. I appreciate anybody who comes in here. That was part of the very beginning of all this. Good match. A+. We have to talk about the next match, bro. The Elite Deletion. Sammy Guevara.
Spanish God.
Versus Matt Hardy. And I felt like this was broken, Matt.
Yeah.
Sammy comes up, and Sammy is on a go-kart or whatever the hell this shit is supposed to be. Is that the proper terminology for those things?
Yes.
On it says the same thing you just said.
Spanish God.
And he comes out, and Neo greets him at kind of like the opening to Matt Hardy's home. This shit is weird. If you guys have never seen Matt Hardy's like cinematic matches, it gets weird. So in the beginning, and this was probably the most normal one, perhaps.
Probably.
This, he greets him kind of at the area, the gate, lets him in. Matt Hardy's in a monster truck in the beginning, and Sammy ran over his kids' toys because Sammy's a heel and he's a piece of garbage. And you know how mad little kids would get if they saw that shit. So it was great. We see Sammy and Matt get ready to fight, and as Matt gets out of the monster truck, they do like suplexes, knockdowns during all of this. Sammy climbs up a monster truck wheel and does a moonsault off of it. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? Matt's throwing him up against trees, those Carolina pines, and he's got his face shoved up against it. Just funny faces from all of this, like, geez Louise.
Oh, God.
And let's see here. Rob, you knock it off here. Jesse, I saw your comment about the tag match as well. Appreciate that. Matt Lopez said the Elite Deletion match was bad shit crazy. Sean Harrington said, I thought it was really fun. It was Matt Hardy, not Damascus. He wasn't fully broken to me. It was a really tame one, but it was fun. I think it was tame because of everything that's going on with like the pandemic, and you really just can't have people show up there like you usually would. So I guess we'll get back into this. His face was on pine, like Sammy Guevara, face to wood, whatever, however you want to put this. Matt ends up just beating Sammy with a scepter that was in a freaking fountain in front of his house. I was like, where the hell did that come from? He just has it in there.
Right.
I was like, the announcers were tripping on this one. Hits him. Matt ends up going and battling, and now they're in a ring area. Matt powerbombs Sammy through a table. He gets the pinfall. 1, 2. Ortiz shows up and breaks up the pinfall, and here's Santana right behind him. So the inner circle travels, even in cinematic matches, to come whoop that ass. So they're out there trying to put the beat down on Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy then goes under the ring during all this and grabs a walkie-talkie, and he calls for backup. Private Party is on the premises. They are the security, it looks like. This could definitely be a great BTE skit if you have them as police officers, by the way.
That would be great.
Shout out to Tiff, because she would probably love that. But they definitely just come in and they just start fighting Santana and Ortiz like it was yesterday in House of Glory. So they're beefing with them. They're fighting. And all of a sudden, like, things start getting weird. Matt gets speared by Sammy and all of this. We see them pick up fireworks, like those big laser fireworks that they were using. Carolina's probably nuts. Like, I wonder what Matt Hardy's neighbors think. They're like, what the hell is he doing again? They're running around with fireworks, like, chasing him. Bro, he is chasing Sammy, shooting these shits at him as Sammy is running. Freaking hilarious, dude. Everybody's hitting the deck around them like, oh God, what are you guys doing? Why are the fireworks popping up? Sammy slips in mud. He falls and busts his ass, and Matt has a great line in here that I know Rob's going to enjoy. He hits him with the, yes, I don't want anyone to refer to this as an outlaw mud show, yes. So, Cornette, that was kind of to him.
Right, exactly.
So, I thought it was funny. I laughed at it. And then, in this, we get 2 guest appearances. First, the Hurricane is captured by some evil, sinister SOB. He is then only revealed to be one of Derek's favorite themes and favorite wrestlers, who is part of his favorite wrestler's history. Gangrel shows up. No. He's definitely doing the bob for those listening on the podcast. Gangrel shows up. Bro, when the hell were you expecting to see Gangrel? I just saw him on Chris Van Vliet's channel. Dude is still in amazing shape, and he's definitely cool as shit. Like, I would hang out with Gangrel. Don't know why.
Dude, I'm telling you, Gangrel was bound to make an appearance on this. I didn't know when.
Well, Matt Hardy was in the Brood.
Exactly. So it was bound to happen, and this was the perfect time for it to happen.
I'm just sad we didn't get 3 count with Hurricane Helm, Shannon Moore, and Evan Courageous.
Yeah.
Get up on your feet now.
Yeah,
Let me stop. Put your hands together. We like the Backstreet Boys and sing too. Britney Spears is kind of cute. I will never, ever sing that song again unless I'm doing a review and 3 count pops up. I apologize. So, Hurricane is in this, and he gets tossed into the lake of reincarnation. And when Sammy gets on the offense, here he comes as, like, interviewer. I think his name was Shane Helms when he did that. He was like, citizen, how is this going? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what the hell? Sammy beats his ass and throws him in the lake again, and then he's back to Hurricane. Nutty, bro. Absolutely nutty. Afterwards, we see a twist of fate happen, but it gets blocked. You were very impressed with the Sammy, like, handstand, like, nope.
Yep.
And he did a great job here. Wait, that wasn't Jericho helping out his group? Terrible, BJ. Terrible. I go watch Gangrel direct some movies. Rob, please see yourself out the chat. You make fun of me for Buffalo Wings, you're done for that comment, because we know Gangrel's all about the fanging and banging, baby. Dope. I really thought this was fun. So he blocks the twist of fate on the outside. Gangrel, Ortiz, and Santana, Private Party, and Hurricane are all in the ring beefing, and they end up getting locked in the dome deletion, which is the garage. And Neo locks it so that nobody can get in. So Gangrel and the boys are pounded on it. They can't get in. And there's a wrestling ring in there. The ropes look weak as shit. Sammy takes apart the bottom and middle rope, and he is basically trying to beat Matt down. There's a ladder set up, and Sammy eventually climbs up this ladder, and he hits a swanton on Matt, but Matt kicks out. Matt spears Sammy eventually off of the ring to the ground, Big E style. Sammy cracks his head open, bleeding from the back of his head and from his mouth. Sammy's out of it, and Matt Hardy is just thinking of things to do. He hits him in the head with a steel chair, not like full-blown 2002 hit in the head with the chair, but he takes the edge and he hits him in the head because that was what the storyline started from. Makes sense.
Right.
And then Matt Hardy eventually has him down, and they're like, okay, Matt, that's enough. And he hits the concerto on him right on top of his head. Shout out to Edge and Christian. Mm-hmm. Another tag team move. Jesus, tonight. Down he is. Concerto. He pins him 1, 2, 3. Matt wins. I'm not giving this a grade because I'm just gonna say it was awesome.
It wasn't meant to have a grade.
Yeah, this was just one of those things that I'm like, I enjoyed it, but if somebody said I absolutely hated it, I would get why too.
Yeah. I mean, to me, this was an intermission. You know what I mean? Like, given the fact of how long the show was, this was just like, here, let's break up the monotony a little bit. You know, let's really have some fun real quick. Get you off your seat, get you lying or laughing. Boom, there you go.
Because of Rob. That's an inside joke from an old show. He just definitely wrote Dirty Bastard when somebody got a concerto.
Oh, yeah.
If you know where that's from, you'll laugh. Dirty Bastard! Jim Ross, Twist of Fate Party. I like this. I had fun. I enjoyed it. Matt Private Party put Sammy in a trash can, folded him up, and put him on the back of a truck. I think it was clear afterwards. I'm pretty sure Sammy wasn't in that trash can based on how they carried it, because Private Party and everybody was hurting and selling, and they put him up there, and he gets driven away, and Senor Benjamin is the one driving the truck. Then we have Rebby playing the piano. Rebby. Whoa. She's playing the piano, and then we see Matt, Rebby, the Hurricane, and Private Party celebrating like it's a game of Fortnite and they all just won and like lasted. I was like, what the hell is this? This could be something in the AEW video game. I'm just putting it out there. I thought the celebration part looked kind of cool. Just me, though.
Yeah. Like I said, this was just like an intermission just to break up the monotony.
Ace put Twist of Fate Party in the chat. BJ said, I really enjoyed Rebby playing the old theme to end it. Me too, BJ. Rebby is incredible of all talents, and I love when she goes off on Twitter. It's just a thing. Sean Harrington said, where did Gangrel, Santana, and Ortiz go after the dome doors closed? They put Private Party and Helms down and then suddenly vanished. And Private Party and Helms returned celebrating. JR's commentary was bad. He didn't seem invested in it at all. Yeah, because JR this isn't JR's type of wrestling. This is something newer that worked. This is what drew me back to Impact for a while, because I stopped watching until Matt did this match. Everyone was like, yo, you got to check this out, what Matt Hardy's doing. I'm like, oh, I heard about this. I'm like, hopefully it's not stupid. I went and I saw it and I liked it. So I'm okay with this. I get what they're doing here.
Yeah. It's different, but it's not for everybody. But you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you can't. It's like music. Music has evolved to a certain extent where it's either you like it or you don't.
I think it's just the older you get stuck in your ways and stuff. And and I'm trying not to do that with pro wrestling because I'm covering it and I watch so much of it. So it was okay here. Not mad. I had fun with this. I would recommend, if you guys enjoyed his previous ones, to check this one out. This is more tame than any of the other ones that you probably have ever seen, though.
Right, exactly.
Lance Archer and Jake Roberts cut a promo. Jake the Snake Roberts is singing some song. I couldn't tell because of the grassly voice. Mm-hmm. He was just like, yes, or something. And he's singing, and Lance Archer is here, and he says, listen, this dude has hurt everyone we're supposed to train with. Lance Archer is hungry, and he doesn't want food. He wants people, and I have to feed him. And I was like, yo, Jake is going in on this promo. Lance then cuts a promo, which was kind of weird. It sounded like lyrics to a song he was trying to recite. But whatever, it worked for the situation. So they built up Lance Archer here. So he's still a badass. He gets promo time from this. I like it. Find something to do with Lance Archer.
Yeah. Bring him back, pretty quick. Because I don't want to say he fell off, but he just kind of disappeared. And then... with Jake, that sounded like a song that came from like the Bayou, something like that.
Maybe, like I said, I didn't know what Jake was saying in the beginning. Because sometimes you can't understand his voice, and I wasn't in the room to hear it, but I heard part of it as I was coming back in. I was like, oh, okay, Jake. And Jake talked this shit. Jake is great for promos. Great to have him on there for that. At this point, I have a star here because this is when I started feeling like everybody felt tired in the show. Like, fans were like, oh man, when's this going to be over? So just something to note, AEW, right around this time period, it was the 10 o'clock-ish hour, people were getting tired, and it was getting pretty late. We were going into almost 11 territory. So middle, 10:30, we'll say, people were starting to get tired. Pay attention to that because it's going to matter later on. And I think if you didn't add that one, like if Orange Cassidy and John Silver stayed on the buy-in, I think you would have been fine on time for this with people.
Yeah.
Just to put it out there. So maybe one match less. But MJF versus Chris Jericho. MJF in his entrance comes out with a light up jacket. And everyone maybe thought it was Jericho at first because you saw the arms out and the light up jacket. But it was MJF, that son of a bitch, lit up his ring jacket that he always comes out with. Looking like he's been hanging out with the Golden Girls eating oatmeal cookies and shit. But MJF comes out, that little prick, pissing everybody off with Wardlow, and if MJF wins this match, he is in the Inner Circle. Jesus said he was singing the Cinderella song. Cut it out. Tony didn't pay that much for it. So he comes out the light up jacket. Jericho comes out, babyface pop. Everybody's singing his music. Jericho is eating that shit up. He loves it. It's just the rock star music life.
You can see it in his face, man. That's what he lives for. That's what he lives for.
It's just part of the music identity that he has. So in the beginning, MJF offers a handshake. Jericho slaps him in the face. They exchange some chops back and forth. Outside, we see Jericho go for a Judas effect, but he hits the post. Watch me. Jericho's arm becomes the focus of the match here for this one. Jericho gets some momentum, though. He hits a lion salt. He hits a Frankensteiner off the top rope. Tony Schiavone had like deja vu during this. He was in love with that Frankensteiner off the top rope. He's like, I feel like I saw Jericho hit his first one in WCW, and I'm seeing it again. I can't believe he hit that flawlessly. Tony was feeling it, and I was kind of impressed by it too. Only because I saw on Instagram today him and like Alex Wright in his first match, and I was just like, yo, that's pretty dope, man, to think about Jericho's career.
Yeah.
MJF says, what do you got, you son of a bitch? He's smacking Jericho around. MJF goes for a lion salt, misses it, gets caught with a code breaker. Salt of the Earth is locked in. MJF eventually can't win with this move. The referee is getting distracted in all of this. He calls Wardlow. Wardlow gives him the ring, the Dynamite Diamond ring. He puts it on his finger. But during all of that, Jericho's a heel and just as smart as him. Hager comes from off the floor and throws Jericho the bat. Good old Floyd. And he has the bat in his hand. And MJF sees it and he says, oh, screw this. Pulls the Eddie Guerrero back bump. He goes down and Aubrey catches Jericho with the bat and she says, give me the bat now. Takes it from him. And when Jericho's like, no, I swear I didn't use it. Roll up from behind. 1, 2, 3. MJF gets the win. I'm not mad at this. This was a basic story here.
Yeah. But I will say, this is leading to Jericho's out.
Hey, what's going on, Brandon Martin? Thank you for joining us, man. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Nothing wrong with hanging with the Golden Girls, especially Blanche. Shout out to BJ. I'm a big fan of the Golden Girls. Love the theme.
Thank you for being a friend.
We've heard 3 count on here. We've heard a lot of songs tonight. MJF in the Inner Circle now. Thumbs down. Ace, I wouldn't be mad just yet. There's more to this story that hasn't happened yet. I got to remember long-term storytelling. It's just be patient. Trust me. Something's going to happen with all this. Dude, this match was a great story. I think it was a simple story that was fun. And everyone saying what's up to Brandon. So Brandon Martin, thank you for joining us, man. I'm glad you are in here. Interesting stat here, Conrad. What stat is that, Jesus? Let me see. Sorry, Pro Wrestling Shoot, not Sheet. Hopefully I didn't say that. If I did, my apologies. MJF is going to take over the Inner Circle and lead Jericho, Sammy, and Wardlow to turning babyface.
Yeah.
I can see. I think the Wardlow thing is, people are assuming this way too soon. I think we've got time for Wardlow. It just has to be little subtle instances of him insulting Wardlow, and Wardlow's just going to be, okay, I got you right now.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah, man. Just awesome. It was a simple story, kind of like the Pro Wrestling Shoot brought up, Jesse. Very simple storytelling here. They just go through everything that they're supposed to do, and Jericho loses with a roll-up. It's fluky, but MJF said he was going to do what he had to do, and Jericho welcomed them to the Inner Circle.
There you go.
It's all good. Jesse, don't be offended. I probably slipped up. I'm tired. What time is it? It's 1:08.
Yeah.
Cut me a break, brother. Cut me a break, brother. Let's see here. Rise Up Family, what is good, man? He is build the brand, so 0-4 in the pay-per-view he is. Who's 0-4?
Jericho.
Jericho?
Yeah.
He has he lost to Orange, he lost to MJF. Yeah, he's on the downward spiral, man. Don't worry though. I think he'll be back eventually. I think he's gonna get some wins once he turns babyface.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of long-term storytelling that is going on from Kenny and the Page stuff. Yes, Jericho, MJF, Taz, Darby versus Team Taz. Yeah, give it time. Give it time. Jesse, I know you're playing. Don't stress it, dog. We find out Revolution is going to take place February 27th, 2020. So if you guys are looking forward to that pay-per-view, mark it down in your calendars. It'll be happening. Dasha is backstage with Orange and the Best Friends. Orange gives some silly ass answer, and Miro and Kip show up. Kip slaps Orange across the face. This feud is still happening. I like that they kind of brought it up, at least on the pay-per-view, so you could see it. Cool. Rise Up Family said a result that doesn't hurt Chris Jericho. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
It's very easy, man. What's good, man? Thank you so much. I believe that's Andre from the Rise Up Family. If you guys are fans of sports, make sure you check out Rise Up. If you guys need the link, send me a message. He runs a great Facebook group if you're into sports. Definitely talks a lot of Buffalo Bills talk too, but he talks about every sport, though. Basketball, football, hockey, whatever you guys are into, he talks about it. So show him some love as well. Jesus said, I'm cool with him losing. Continue to put more people over. Jericho's been great at that his whole career. He's basically untouchable. You can't really screw Jericho up at this point, man.
No, because eventually he'll figure out what he needs to do to get the people into it, make the story better, and get it fleshed out.
Yeah. Let's talk about this world title match, D. It's the I Quit match for the AEW Championship. Eddie Kingston versus Jon Moxley. These guys sold this match with the promos. They did their thing in this. I thought it was fun, man.
Listen, that I know I've been saying layers all night, but this promo itself had actual layers to the story. When you watch the promo and then you look at how far back these two have been going up against each other, that's real layers right there.
Bro, going back to their history on the independent scene, this was something lovely. And I have to give a shout out to Eddie Kingston. He comes out rocking a shirt for Tracy Smothers. I thought that was really dope that he came out and paid respect still to someone who's on the indie scenes just as long as him, probably longer. Tracy Smothers is an absolute legend, so big shout out to him. Moxley and Kingston just start off the match just hitting the shit out of it. Like, they were punching each other from the beginning in this. Just trying to beat each other. Eventually in this matchup, they fight, and Moxley's bleeding, as we expected. He pulls out a barbed wire bat and begins to hit Kingston with it. Kingston's mouth is bleeding. I don't know if he had internal injuries. The ref tried to check on him, and Kingston's waving him off. He's like, yo, dog, get out of here.
Right. And
I like that. He was just like, yo, don't check on me too much. It's kind of like a classic old school wrestler thing, and hopefully it was just selling, but Kingston sold it like a G in this one. And Moxley gets thrown down on the bat by Kingston with barbed wire wrapped around it. There was a chair shot to the back over and over and over again from Kingston on Moxley. Kimura lock gets locked in, and the only way Moxley can get out of it is by biting his knee on his shorts that rose up, and he just bit him on any open piece of skin. This was some CZW, like, brawler indie wrestling stuff, but it worked for AEW. It works for Moxley for his style.
That's definitely the style that he's used to. So bringing that style in, I think that brings out John more. That brings that John out more to show you, like, I have another side to me that no one knows about, or if they do know about, this is still a side that I still have.
Right, and I think that it goes with Kingston's character and Moxley's character of, like, how do I want to put this? Moxley's like the kid from the streets who will do anything and fight because he came from the streets of Cincinnati. But you got Eddie Kingston who's from the streets of New York, different personality, that hip hop's more so personality, and he's willing to do the exact same thing.
Exactly.
So we see afterwards he bites him with the Kimura lock. Kingston gets a bag of thumbtacks. We know what's coming up. He lays them all down on the ground. They try to throw each other on them. Kingston blocks it, ends up dropping Moxley on them with a spinning Uranagi. Boom, right on top of him. Moxley's got thumbtacks in his arms, his back. He's bleeding out of his back. It's pretty gross. They eventually have Kingston go to the outside, and what's he gonna do? He goes into Dr. Sampson's medical area and he grabs rubbing alcohol and he gets into the ring and dumps rubbing alcohol all down his back and asks the ref to ask him if he quits. Moxley says no, he does not quit, and he is fighting for all of this. That part with the rubbing alcohol was a lot. I was like, damn, bro, why don't you just get lemon juice and squirt it on his back?
Lemon juice and salt.
Ugh. Dude, ugh. So eventually he sets it all up, pouring it down his back. Moxley puts the sleeper on, hits a pile driver. Minoru Suzuki got a lot of respect right here. AEW New Japan, make it happen. And I really like it. He puts in the bulldog choke, but he doesn't give up. He hits a paradigm shift, and when the ref asks Eddie, does he give up, he flips the bird. Now, I like the bleeding out the mouth because they basically internalized that Kingston could have had eternal injuries earlier when he was bleeding out the mouth and he got hit in the stomach with the bat.
Right.
So I think that played a huge part into the finish because I saw somebody, I think it was Sean, say he wasn't feeling the finish in all of this. But I think that's what made me believe in it more because I was like, oh, they said internal injuries in the beginning of the match.
Right.
After he flips in the bird, he gets the bulldog choke, but he grabs the barbed wire and wraps it around his forearm that he uses for the bulldog choke. Moxley locks it in, and he's got it around his face. Here's the beauty of storytelling. The referee gets down. It's your boy, your favorite referee, Bryce Remsburg. He's down there, and he is pleading with Kingston to give up, saying it's not worth it. Because Kingston is basically going to fight, and he just looks at me, he's just like, oh, I'm stuck in this, and I'm not going to be able to get out of this. And he just says, oh, I quit. And he basically grit his teeth when he said it, like he didn't want to. Right. And he gave up. Eddie Kingston, the beauty in this moment, guys, is Eddie Kingston got a title shot. He was a dude who paid his dues, worked really hard. He got to go to Ring of Honor. He was in Chikara. He was in CZW. He was all over the indie scene. But Eddie Kingston never got his chance. He never got his break. Right. He wrestles Cody. And who would have thought that by the next 2 pay-per-views, we were going to say Eddie Kingston's main eventing Full Gear against Jon Moxley. That's a beautiful thing.
And you know what, though? Like, adding Bryce Remsburg to this also had, like, the effect of, like, there is history between these 3 individuals.
Right.
Because that goes back to when he told Eddie, like, listen, I know we've worked together for years, but I am also here to help you save yourself. Right?
That is a big fact when it comes down to this. And I like the fact afterwards. So we gave this an A-.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with this. Moxley tries to help Kingston to his feet. Kingston pushes him off. Basically, you know, he came out of G. He's going out of G like, yo, don't touch me. He ends up leaving the ring. Kingston just refuses any help from anybody. And he's pissed. He's ashamed that he lost the world title match. I like it. He makes the world title matter. And then Moxley is out there celebrating, talking his ish, and him and Kenny Omega have a face-off because that is the next matchup. And just like it was said in the chat here, Rob, stop writing my man's name in the chat. You know who that is. That's who he calls Eddie Kingston.
Come on, Rob.
You gotta chill out, my boy. I haven't talked to him in years, man. I miss him. This is really dope. Hold on, I got to address. Rise Up Family said, I would love if New Japan collabed with AEW. I hope so. Honestly, I wished all of them collaborated. It could be some good things. I think AEW is open to doing that if other people are.
Yeah.
Definitely dope. Pro Wrestling Shoot says, I can't wait to see Moxley Omega 2. Jesse, I 100% agree. Omega Moxley 2 will be lit. A said the rematch. And A said it earlier. He knew Moxley can't quit in this. I respect it. Now, we're going to get into this with you guys once it's time to. But remember, I'm telling you now, I think Moxley is losing that belt to Kenny Omega. You heard it here first. You heard it months ago, actually, from me. I think that he's going to be the one to take the title off of him. That's just my opinion. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. Put in the chat what you thought the grade for this pay-per-view would be. And then me and Derek are just going to kind of talk about this, and then we'll get ready to head on out of here after that, and we'll tell you what we got coming up. But overall grade, Derek, for this pay-per-view, I think we said there were a lot of A's on here. There were some B's. I think that the weakest match was a solid match. It was the AEW Women's Championship match. I thought was probably one of the weaker matches on the card, but still solid.
Yeah, and that's nothing against them. It's one of those situations where it's like a WWE match we've already seen, like John Cena and Randy Orton. We've already seen it. We just can't have it right now. It's got to be something different. And granted, yes, the division is weak, so we're not trying to put them down. That's not what we're doing. It's just the fact that we've seen it too many times. AEW's weak point right now is the women's division. They need to not shut it down, but like shut it down to like refocus on it.
Okay. Jesus has 3 questions for us coming in. Jesus put them in. Rise Up Family gave this show a B. Ooh. B doesn't mean bad though, so it depends on what his grading scale is for it compared to the other ones. Personally, I'm gonna say this was over All Out. All Out is gonna go down as probably their weakest one right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This was the this and Revolution I think are tied because we're going A- for our final grade.
Yeah.
Matt Lopez gave it an A. Pro Wrestling Shoot Jesse says, bro, pay-per-view of the year in his opinion. Oh. It was good, man. I don't know. That's going up against Revolution and Wrestle Kingdom. That's a big. This is a show that I'm gonna have to comparing this to Revolution. I have to look back at this, but Wrestle Kingdom was dope too. So this is gonna put a lot on there for that. Rise Up Family said, I want the cleaner back and his old theme music too. We're not getting that theme music, bro. No. They definitely got that copy written. But the cleaner is coming back, I think, slowly but surely. It's just when is he finally going to make his appearance?
Right.
BJ said, I would give this pay-per-view a solid A. The highs were high and the lows were not terrible. You got to have it flow well, and this one did. Much better than All Out. Agreed, BJ. Yep. A-, more towards B+. So, yeah, see, I knew we would meet in the middle on that one. Jesus said, first question, who do you have go up against Darby? Oh, Rob said Dominion's on there, too, for pay-per-view. I agree, Rob. That was a good show, too. Another one we stayed up crying early in the morning doing a review doing. But it was all right. It was fun. All right, Rockstar. Definitely go and check out the show, bro. Tell me what you thought, man. Send me a message after. Yeah. But, Derek, who do you have Darby go up against first?
I think
it doesn't have to be someone he's gonna like lose against either. Just who, if you were booking, like who was the first person? You're like, you know what, go. You're fighting Darby in 2 weeks.
I feel like it has to be Cody again.
Ooh, you would start with the rematch that quick?
Yeah,
that's fast. For me, I'm gonna go with. I'm trying to think of someone who's in the middle of the card right now. I think we should see him go up against someone like a Christopher Daniels. Someone from SCU, I think, or Kaz.
Right.
I would love to see how they just mix it up.
Well, the only reason why I say Cody again, because to me this would have to be Cody challenges him again to prove that this isn't a fluke.
BJ says Starks versus Darby. Stroke daddy. Rise Up. My man Andre says, I would love to see Ilya Dragunov versus Darby Allin if they collabed. Ilya and Walter put on a match of the year quality match too recently, so I could agree with that. Darby Allin versus Orange Cassidy. That would be dope. I think you save it. Rob says Starks. I want to save Starks because the next time they meet, I want it to be really good. Second, what do you hope they announce Tuesday for the AEW video game? Actually, that's going to be part of my other announcement, so we'll get it in here. I will try to go live afterwards and just give you my quick thoughts on everything as far as the video game goes. Announcement-wise, I think we're just going to kind of get these little summit sessions to where Kenny or maybe the team... I think this first one we're going to find out who's working on the game, what are they doing, and if we're lucky, a screenshot. That's how I see it. I think AEW, I listened to Tony Pizza Guy's video, giving him some credit for this. I think that they're going to get into this video game thing, but it's going to be different than other people. I think they're going to want to have video game produced chairs, headsets, controllers, all that stuff. I think they're really going to be heavily into this AEW games, and I'm in for it. I think that's a wise move and a market that they could tap into based on Kenny Omega and his love for video games, the Bucks, Cody, and how they've just been involved with Capcom. Right. What are you hoping to see for the video game, Derek, in short terms here?
Definitely a screenshot. I'm not expecting a lot. I just want them. I just want them to bring out a game where I could sit there and say, like, because I haven't really been into any wrestling games since No Mercy and WrestleMania.
Here we go with this guy.
Just saying.
Yo, definitely had a dope party one time. Testing that car you had. Great. Yeah. Tested great. Dominated the tag division. We had like a tag tournament. It was dope on the N64.
We went undefeated.
For mad matches, like 10 matches.
Yeah, I think we just mailed it in one match just because we were smoking everybody.
Yeah. Let me see here. Pro Wrestling Shoot says you got to do it one time before you go. Johnny Hungy, yeah, absolutely. BJ says I'm thinking a mobile GM mode game, announced with a date showing what they're working on. Yeah, I would be interested to see how they could make that work. Because I know BJ's really into producing the games and like creating the characters and everything with it. I'd be interested to see what they could do with that. Game announcement from the same day as the Xbox Series X launch. I think it's going to be on the new platform. So if anybody doesn't have them, I don't know if they're going to make games for the PS4 still. It's going to be kind of weird. We'll see.
Yeah.
Third question, from 1 through 10, rate Moxley's reign and his best match so far from his reign.
I've got a 9.
Ooh, for Moxley?
Yeah.
For this title reign?
I got a 9.
Okay. What's his best match to you?
Omega.
The first lights out match? Okay. For me, I'm going to give Jon Moxley a 8. Solid 8. For his title reign. I think he could have been better, but pandemic issues and all that being aside, I think Jericho gave AEW the name that they wanted, but I think Moxley showed this is the work that we want to see. He's a workhorse. This dude always had like the most matches in WWE. He always comes out. He always delivers. So I think that's what the people want from him.
Yeah.
As far as his best match, I'm trying to think of what my favorite is. I may have to go with the Ghost of Darby Allin match. The first one they had where he friggin' dropped him.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, I gotta go with that.
He dropped him on his dome piece, bro. That was a great match, though. I had a lot of fun watching that one.
Yeah, that one, yeah. Now that I think about it, like, that has been his best match.
Pro Wrestling Shoe says, I want to see an announcement of who produced the game, also a screenshot. I would love to see a screenshot of what they've been working on. Pro Wrestling Shoot says yes. Rockstar says the last good wrestling game was WWE 2K24. Bro, I cannot lie. I may have to agree. I like 19 though. 2K19 was fun. Check out the ECW Lives packs that they're making for that. Those are great. I'm doing that creation stuff, but damn, it's tiring. Give it Moxley a 7 for the reign. MJF, Jesus says, was his best one. Mox wasn't champ during Lights Out. Oh, wait, his best match for the reign. We're going to have to change it. But both me and you, I think, are going to have to change it. I don't know if Darby's match was a title match, though.
No, Darby's wasn't.
I love the build to this one, but his best title match that he's had. Who did he face at the other one? The May pay-per-view. I can't remember now. So for me, I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna go with his MJF match. I think that made MJF a tough guy, so we'll stick with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Yeah, see, Pro Wrestling Shoot said 2K19 was awesome. 2K19 over 2K20, bro. Fire Pro Wrestling over 2K20. That's the only wrestling game I have right now to play. So, Brody Lee, thank you, BJ. Good memory. See, we need you on the show, BJ. Get you on here again, Brody. But listen, guys, thank you so much for everyone who was in the chat joining us. This was an A pay-per-view. Whether you give it an A minus, I think that it's definitely worth checking out, worth your time. Check out a lot of the matches that we gave A's to. If anything falls in that category, I say it's worth going back and checking out. Join us on Tuesday. I don't know if Derek will be around for it or if we'll have him just join in via chat, or Rob, maybe we can get someone else on here. But we'll try and talk that AEW video game depending on who's around and how timing is with everything. And make sure you guys are here. And we'll be back Wednesday with AEW Dynamite live review afterwards. Check us out. For myself, Derek, Everything Pro Wrestling, and big shout out to Derek and Rob for the layout with me. We are out. And you guys should have enjoyed Full Gear. I made Derek wait. Got him. Got him. Got him. Got him. Peace.